So the one skill that every short man needs to become undeniable, to become unrecognizable, is the skill of sales, the skill of selling yourself, all right? And it does not always mean monetarily. It doesn't mean exchanging money, right? It just means selling yourself as a man who's trustworthy, as a man who's disciplined, as a man who's committed to a bigger purpose than himself, all right? Because if you go into a job interview and you're sitting in front of the person who's interviewing you, you're selling yourself to see if that company is worth investing in. When you're sitting across from a woman and you're on a date and you're actually interested in this woman and you want to take it further, you're selling yourself that you're a man who's worthy of that woman. At the end of the day, that's what it is. Everything, for the most part, that you do in life is you selling yourself. And again, it doesn't have to be monetarily. It doesn't have to be an exchange of currency. It can just be you creating new opportunities for yourself, right? I'll give you guys an example. When I graduated high school in 2018, I applied for a Honda dealership and I applied for the job of a phone appointment setter. So my job would have been to go in, sit on the phone all day, call people and ask them if they want to come into the dealership to sit with the car salesman and buy a car because we saw them looking online at a certain car on the website. And I actually went in for that job and I walked out with a car salesman position. So actually selling the cars and actually having the potential to make a lot more money than if I was an appointment setter on the phone. And the reason that happened, which like I realized this immediately after, because I didn't think about this before, was the way I sold myself as a man, as a human being, right? I pulled up to that interview in a button-down shirt, dress pants, ironed, clean dress shoes, clean haircut, clean facial hair, right? I was still pretty skinny. I wasn't the biggest guy yet, or I didn't really have too much muscle mass. I was 18 years old still. I was still just getting into the gym pretty much. But I pulled up clean clothes, clean face. I smelled good. I had a nice cologne on. I remember this day very vividly. I had a nice cologne on. I knew how to speak, right? Because I practiced my speech. I've always been great at speaking, right? And not everybody is great at speaking for their whole entire life, but that's just something I was gifted with. I was always great at speaking. And I knew that. So I walked into that interview as confident as I possibly could have been. And I sold myself so well that I actually got a better position than I applied for. All because I sold myself in a way that presented myself as somebody of higher value. And now how do you go about this as a short guy, right? Because when you're born, we don't really get a lot of attention. We're not really born with a lot of inherent value, right? I don't even like saying that because I don't mean value as a human being, because everybody's valuable as a human being. But I mean in the eyes of society. Unfortunately, it is what it is, right? So how do you build that? How do you build that, right? First things first, start taking care of your body, all right? Start putting the right things in your body. Start fueling your body like it's an exotic car and not just a hoopty that is running on fumes every day. Because essentially what you're doing, if you're somebody who's out of shape and you're putting junk in your body every day, is you're running on fumes. You're not running optimally the best way your body can perform. So start eating the right nutritious things. Start eating more protein. Start working out more consistently. You don't have to be in the gym 6 days a week, 5 days a week, all right? Start with 3 hours a week. So that's 3 days a week of training. Start eating better foods. You can do an 80-20 diet. 80% whole foods, 20% fun. And if you want to see better results quicker, you can tighten that window a little bit more, do 90-10. Or even just lock all the way in and say, fuck the fun. I'm just gonna eat all whole foods. And you'll see that that foundation alone will change how your mind operates, because now you've made a commitment to yourself to be disciplined. Now you've made a commitment to yourself to change your appearance, to change the way how you feel, to change the way how you sleep, to change the way how you speak to people. And that's already going to elevate you in that sense, right? Now, the next thing you want to do, and you can do this all simultaneously, by the way. You don't have to do this in order. You can do this all at the same time. It's going to take some work, but it's going to pay off in the end. And now the second thing you want to do, if you don't already know how to, again, I was gifted with this. But if you don't know how to, learn how to articulate yourself. Learn how to sell yourself verbally. Learn how to use bigger words, more intelligent words. Learn how to string your sentences together. Learn how to use your body language to convey a message. Learn how to use the fluctuations in your voice to emphasize certain words, to make it hit harder, right? Speaking is a skill. Not just speaking monotone like this and, having a conversation and, yeah, I deserve this job because I'm a hard worker. No, do you see how boring that sounds and how you probably already got tired of hearing that for 5 seconds. But when I'm speaking to you like this and I'm speaking with energy and I'm emphasizing certain words in my sentences and raising my voice a little bit and bringing it back down and then bringing it back up, you're more engaged, right? That's how you want to be. You want to be engaging in order to sell yourself. So learn how to speak. Watch other people speak. That's how I learned a lot more. Like I said, I've had a gift. I don't even want to say a gift, but I've always had the ability to speak respectfully and properly and convey messages. But it really started to elevate once I started to actually practice new words and started listening to other people speak. And they were using words that I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And then I searched it up on Google, and then my brain stores it, and now I have new vocabulary, right? A lot of you guys will hear words that are foreign to you and not even care about what they mean. Dude, that's one of the quickest ways that you can up your speaking skills, is whenever you hear a word that you don't know what it means, or whenever you see a word that you don't know what it means, Google it. It takes 5 seconds. Now you have a new word. So when somebody hears you say that word and you're over here trying to get a job interview or trying to speak to somebody and open a new opportunity, they're going to perceive you as a more intelligent person. Now you're selling yourself verbally because you're learning how to speak, right? So however you learn, again, reading books. One book that I really recommend, it's very entry level, is How to Win Friends and Influence People. I can't remember the author's name off the top of my head, but How to Win Friends and Influence People. Amazing, amazing beginner entry level book for how to, again, win friends and influence people. Because when you're walking through life and you're selling yourself and you're developing relationships and you're creating job opportunities, you're influencing people, you're winning friends. And that's a skill in and of itself. All right? So if you're a short dude and you're feeling like insecure, low self-esteem, and you're wondering why you're not getting any opportunities, it's because you need to work on these things. Work on your body. Work on how you talk to people. Bro, you can get so much out of life just learning how to convey your ideas properly and your messages properly and asking for things properly, right? Learn how to ask for things. A lot of you guys don't ask for shit, and that's a problem. If you don't ask for anything in life, how will you get anything? Closed mouths don't get fed. It's a saying for a reason. Learn how to ask for stuff, not in an arrogant way, but again, in an intelligent way that's going to make the other person more receptive and more willing to give you that opportunity. And the last thing, and I think personally this is the most important, is being assertive. Be assertive. Have boundaries. That is also a part of selling yourself, right? Nobody wants to buy from the nice guy. People want to buy from the guy that they respect. And again, buying doesn't necessarily mean monetarily. It could be anything. They want to buy from the guy that they respect, not the nice person that they can feel is just being nice to get something out of you, right? When I was training at the gym, my results would have been a lot different if I was just coddling all the potential clients. If I was just, oh yeah, it sucks that you had to, it happens, you just eat 5,000 calories over your daily goal, it just happens, it's okay, right? Like, my results would have been a lot different. And that's a nice guy, I'm just agreeing with you. I'm not really telling you straight up how it is, but instead I combined being kind, but also being assertive. Listen, I understand life gets tough, but if you keep doing this, this is what's going to happen unless you do this, unless you change this. I'm here to help you, but I'm not here to hold your hand. You have to want it more for yourself than I want it for you. That's being assertive, right? In a respectful manner. You're not being a dick. You're not being an asshole, right? So all these three things, and asserting your boundaries, right? I can go in depth on that, but I think we all know what that means, right? Not letting people disrespect you, not letting people walk all over you and take you for granted and drain you of your energy without any reciprocity, right? We know what that is, but you have to start doing that and implementing that into your life in order to sell yourself with higher value. Again, I don't like using the word value because it has a negative connotation to it. But you guys are understanding what I'm saying when I say that. Not literal value. So learn how to sell yourself. It's a skill and it's going to get you a lot farther in life. All right. I've been able to get a lot of blessings in life strictly because I asked for things in a respectful way. And I asked for things and I was able to articulate myself properly. Like you guys underestimate how much you can get from just learning how to talk, learning how to speak, right? I will always preach that and I will always emphasize that. And then taking care of your body. Because if your body is healthy, your mind is healthy. And you cannot learn how to speak if your mind is not operating on 100% or at least close to 100%. And you're just scrolling on your phone all day, fucking watching brain rot, eating donuts, eating cake, not moving your body, not taking care of yourself, not taking care of your hygiene, not learning how to speak. It's no fucking wonder you're struggling. It's no fucking wonder, right? It's not rocket science. You are not somebody who's worth selling yourself. And that's okay because you have the power to fix it. But if you don't actually take control and you don't take the steps necessary to fix it, then you need to stop complaining about what life isn't giving you. Because life gives you what you give life. Your life is a reflection of what you put out, of what you learn, of what you implement. It's a direct reflection of that. So if you're struggling and you're not getting what you want out of life, the power is in your hands. Nobody has the power to do that for you. Nobody's against you except yourself. So learn how to sell yourself as a short man, right? Learn how to do this because we're not born with attention. We're not born with confidence. We have to earn it. We have to build it. And one way to build that confidence and that self-esteem and open those opportunities is learning how to sell yourself. But first, you need to become somebody worth selling. You need to become somebody worth selling. I'm not saying you have to be the pinnacle of man, but you at least need to be somebody who's confident enough to sell yourself and walk into every interview knowing that you're going to get the job. Walk up to every woman that you approach knowing that you at least have a chance, right? Because we're not going to get every single girl you talk to, obviously, but at least being you know, having some sort of confidence in yourself that it might go your way, that it's possible that it will go your way. Knowing that if you ask for something in a respectful manner and you use the appropriate articulation, that you have a higher chance of getting that thing that you asked for. Whether it's your business, whether it's, I don't know. Like me personally, when I rented my apartment, my credit score was shit because I was going through, I was going through a bad patch in life. And I spoke to the landlord and I said, hey, listen, life is different for me now. You know, my past obviously reflects something different, but right now I'm in a situation that's a lot better and I'm able to do this. And I need you to trust me that I will follow through with what I'm saying. And I was able to get my apartment, even though I shouldn't have, right? in technical terms. So learning how to speak, take care of your body, which is going to take care of your mind. That's how you learn how to sell yourself. And once you can start doing that, your life will change. So thank you guys for watching. Link will be down in the description below if you need help transforming your physique and your mindset to an elite physique as a short guy, boosting your confidence. Click the link, book a one-on-one strategy call, completely free. Other than that, if you got anything out of this video, send it to a friend, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.